Okay, third grade, so you've gotten to the point where you're at the home stretch, you're really close to being finished with your entire weaving. So we've done our arms, our legs, our feet, body, belt, and finally our hair. When you get to the point that you are ready to do past your hair, the rest of your arms, and into your hands, it's a good idea to, like always, take a marker or take a pen of some sort and color in what you're going, how far up you have to go. So I'm going to color here because this is where my hands are going to end. So one hand's going to go this way and the other hand's going to go that way. I'll zoom in so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And then I know I'm going to have to go straight across here. I'm just going to put a little mark across all of these to tell myself that when I get to this point I have to stop. As we can see here, the hands are separate, and then you have, or the arms are separate, and then the hands get woven back together. So it's going to be the same thing we used, technique we used to make the legs, and now we're going to do that for the hands. So I also want to talk to you guys about the idea of a weaver's bubble. So a weaver's bubble means that you are, when you start to weave, and so hold on, I just have to check, see which way my yarn is going. Okay, so to go over under. Weaver's bubble is when you are leaving, you're kind of going up in a zigzag pattern, and you're trying to make sure that your weaving is not too tight, so that you don't start to get that hourglass effect. You can do the same thing with your legs, but as long as you're not pulling too tight, you shouldn't get your hourglass shape. But if you're having issues with that, this is a good thing to try. So to leave it really loose and to not put it down yet all the way, you're creating a bubble effect. You're going back and forth. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. I'm going to show you how much looser it winds up being at the end, as long as you don't pull. And alright, so zigzag going back and forth, and then you can just smush it together. So it's really not pulling nearly as tight as when you're going just back and forth. So that's known as the weaver's bubble. Make sure that you're not getting that hourglass shape happening. And notice also you can see the bubble effect right here because it's not totally touching the loom. I'm going to go up and back, leaving that little bubble right there, and pushing them down. It's too big of a bubble, I can just kind of edit it with my fingers. But again, you're going back and forth, and you're making sure that your hands aren't together. I also want to point out, remember, one leg is bigger, one leg is smaller. So make sure when you're going to do your arms that you're making sure you are not making the wrong arm smaller or the wrong one bigger. So it's really important when you're doing this just to remember what came before so that you're continuing on your under-over pattern. And then you're going to stop once you get to your hands. You'll do both sides. And then when you finally get to your hands, you're just going to do a normal back and forth tabby weaving. So if you have any questions at this point, you're really close to finishing. Just keep on going. Remember to keep your whole weaving really tight, pushed together, but loose on the edges so you don't hourglass. Again, if you have any other questions, just let me know.